Well, let's just kick off regardless, and hope that this all works out, because this will be saved as a normal YouTube video in due course anyway. Welcome, or my Gavadan Melanine, and well met indeed. I'm Arakir Galadurthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Anduin, and this time live, because why the hell not? I wanted to do something a touch different, and this was an opportunity for me to do that. So this video will be saved afterward in case you weren't here at the time that I recorded it. Hello to all the people saying hello, and let's just dive off really. I plan to go for around 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. I've put the camera in the corner as well so that you can all see that. But otherwise, it's just a standard Anduin campaign. But please do, if you have any questions at all and you happen to be here, then please do post them. I'll have a little read and we can actually answer some questions. Also, this is the first time I've live streamed in a long time and the first time I've live streamed on this computer. So if you... particularly if the stream might not be as good as a normal YouTube recording, but this is all just obviously testing the waters and seeing how we get on. So please, as I say, do post that if you have any questions at all, and otherwise I'm just going to play the Anduin for about 45 minutes to an hour. So the last time that we played as the Anduin, I'm probably shouting too much, new headphones. The last time that we played as the Anduin, we took Anduin Lank and renamed it as such, which means the naked hill or bare hill, as that is what it actually is. It's a hill with no forest on it. We are besieging Mount Gleerwine, and that is going to fall in 5 turns, but we're not going to attack that until it falls, because we don't want to lose any troops, because we've got to fend off Angmar in the west. Someone's asked me what do I think of the Dutch, and I'm afraid I have few opinions of the Dutch, other than every Dutch person I've ever met has been incredibly polite. I've yet to meet a bad Dutch person. Is the answer to that question. Right, I think we're at an end turn, so let's go ahead and do that. Haleth is just spying out. We found Kamul, didn't we? He's in Akhnorion. Apologies, haven't drunken very much today. Oh yes, our army's moving south, so we will end the turn. Let us pray that it does not crash, because were it to do that, we'll be in real trouble. Oh, also, I haven't locked the cursor to the screen. I need to do that as well. Yeah, that's foolish. This is the first time in a long time I've played this in borderless window mode so that I could swap between the two screens easier, because as I'm sure you're all aware, Med2 does not like being alt-tabbed and it takes forever to load back in. It's doing all sorts of crazy things with the different NVIDIA things on screen, but I'm assuming for the stream it's all working out fine. Do I like Belgians? I've only ever met one Belgian person, and he profusely proclaims to be Dutch. So, again, only met nice Dutch people. Haven't met any Belgians. But let me just lock my cursor to the screen, because otherwise I won't be able to scroll to the right very quickly, or very easily. Ah, the White Council. The White Council leader starts to speak. Strangers from distant lands, friends of old, you've been summoned here to answer the threat of Mordor. Blah, 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 blah. Locking the cursor. Right, what we need to do is just quickly change view, lock the cursor, click, and then it locks in. Perfect, there we are. Right, I did send a general to Imladris. He's sitting over here. That's the fellow who just got that ring notification. But we can't leave yet. He's got to wait there until the ring, we're told what to do with it, where to go with it. So he has to sit over there for a moment. We are sending forces to Anduin Lank, which was not attacked. So we can move straight on and hit Kamul from that point. We do not have to wait. We can just go straight through, which I think we'll do. If we can catch them in Akhnorion, that would be absolutely smashing. Oh, look, that person atted me, and it came up with orange writing. I've never seen that. Also, 115 people, and we've been going for about a minute. That is absolutely incredible. So thank you all to all of you for stopping by, even just for a short time. Live streaming was always something I wanted to do more on the channel, and then ended up just never really doing, because I'm a massive perfectionist, and I really don't like the videos not being in the best possible quality. And live streaming tended to always drop the quality quite substantially, and that always used to bother me, so I've never really done it. I also get very anxious about live streaming, not just because everything is live and I might say something stupid. I'm not worried about that. I'm in control of my own thoughts and words. But because I hate like technical problems, and I think it just looks really bad on the channel when anything like that goes wrong, and it always bothers me. Of course, the only problem with live streaming, for those of you who are watching this afterward, is that you've got to then try and follow along with the comments to see what I'm saying. NVIDIA does have an option to display the comments on the screen, but I don't think it actually does that. So even though I've turned that option on, I don't think it's worked. Right, I think we can just have to end the turn again, I'm afraid, because our army's still in Anduin Lank. but that's funny. 100,000 watching in an hour or two. I don't think 100,000 will be watching in an hour or two, as we don't even have that many people supporting the channel. Barad-dûr is a citadel, or possibly a fortress. I think it goes... I know that it goes keep, castle, stronghold, because those are the three that you can actually build. And after that, I believe it's fortress, then citadel. Citadel, there are 5 tiers of castle in any event, and the two top tiers are cut out to use for unique cities. Thank you to Revenga CZ for saying that the quality is pretty good. That's very helpful to know, because I can't watch this back, which is the primary problem. I usually, the last times I live streamed, I put a laptop on the desk and I watched the stream back. But I've not done that on this occasion. I've just thrown caution to the wind and just gone for it. I should also mention, of course, normally today there would be, this is Saturday, the 9th of January 2021, and normally there'd be a Warhammer video today, but that will be either tomorrow or Monday. I will do one, but it's just, I don't know if I'll do it today or tomorrow. We're suddenly making loads of money, I've just seen. White Council's dilemma. Carrying the ring is a heavy task. On the other hand, you're the only one capable to destroy it. Straight into it. Press accept if you wish to relinquish the One Ring and let us hide it. Press decline if you believe you can take the ring deep into Mordor and cast it into Mount Doom to destroy it. If you press decline, you'll receive several resources from the council and gratitude. Oh, that's very kind. And if you press accept, there'll be a small diplomatic penalty, but you'll get rid of the cursed ring. No, let's do it. Let's go for Mordor. I want to see if the quest actually works. Thomas Sugg asks what got me into Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings, I am very ashamed to admit, came to me through the films, not the books. I saw the films long before I read the books. But then I was a child when the films came out. They came out in 2001, didn't they? And I was 10 in 2001. So it's not wholly unprecedented that I didn't read the books first. Right, let's get Alaric back over here, but we won't send him forward in our army, and we're going to attack Dol Guldur over there. I'm hoping having you all here watching along will be a boon to my work, because you'll be able to pick up on things that I make mistakes on, and tell me about them in live time. I just did the showcase stat and then immediately didn't do it. Right, move character, there we are. Apologies for the tippy-tappy typing. Alaric, you're coming back. 300, 332. There he goes. Right, Alaric, you're going to stay in Amunlank with the measly little garrison that we're going to leave behind. And the rest of us, we're heading out to attack Captain Golfimble, who foolishly did not run. He's going to get melted away. We need to try and keep pressure on Dol Guldur as much as we can for as long as we can, so that they don't possess or present much of a threat to us. Oh, Murray Drummond, thank you. You paid actual money to me. I really cannot stress enough that people should not do that. I mean, I'm not chastising you for your decision, but honestly, I do this for a laugh. I do modding as a hobby because I find it interesting. You don't need to financially recompense me. That is absolutely fine. Not that I'm not grateful for you, of course, and I will take those £2 and I will do something wonderful with them. Right, here we are, everyone. I'm going to go on this little hill here, I think. Oh, we are massively outnumber them. It really does not matter what we do today. So let's just get all our archers in a nice long line and start raining furious hellfire down upon our foes. Oh, look, we've got some good archers for once. Let's go and have a look at those. Woodman Trackers. A very, very good arch unit for the Vale. Very, very useful. Only slightly eclipsed by Greenwood Foresters. I can't believe how many of you there are. 206 people. That's absolutely insane. The most I ever had on a live stream in the past was about 100 people. But then that's probably because this time we're actually live streaming DaC, which is what you're all here for, let's be honest. Right, pop those in the corner and pop those on the left flank as well. We've got the skin changes. You can just go in the line. Yeah, we're just going to walk at them. Oh, look, they've actually thought about what to do and they've gone on a hill. Are you going to run at me? Yes, it looks like you are going to run at me, so we don't need to worry. Right, let's just take the flat plane. Sod it. Go and stand in a line over there. In fact, sod it. Just everyone go and stand in a line over there. Although we don't want to get the cavalry. We don't want the cavalry to interrupt to get in with their wargs. If I had announced it... Oh, Brasidas, hello. If I had announced it, I think more people would be here. But I have something of a problem, which I can bore you all with now, in that NVIDIA, whilst this is being live streamed by NVIDIA... NVIDIA is not one of YouTube's official encoders, which means the only way I can go live is by going live. I can't schedule it. But what I can do, I suppose, is announce and say I'm going to go live at 11 o'clock on Saturday or something like that. But I can't do an actual scheduled stream because YouTube doesn't... NVIDIA doesn't pair with YouTube well enough to set up a schedule, but it does stream to YouTube, as you can see. So that's an annoyance and a problem I've had to get around. Oh wow, what a name. Javier JD 2011. I have absolutely loved your dedication to this mod. I would love you to keep live streaming so we can keep showing you our support. Well, thank you very much indeed. Live streaming, as I say, does put me on edge, and you can't see how much I'm wringing my hands together out of anxiety. And I'm sweating profusely. We should not have turned the heating on today. But I appreciate that you enjoyed it, and I'm not saying that looking for your sympathy. I just talk too much when I get nervous. Anyway, they're going to group up together, and that's bought us enough time. I appreciate this battle is quite dull at the moment. Nothing's going on. Nemanja Vidic. Oh, Nemanja Vidic. I haven't heard his name in a long time. I'm assuming you're not the Nemanja Vidic, and you are in fact just a fan of the football player. But I do. The lore videos take so long to do. They just take so long to do, and there are so many good dedicated lore channels. I always felt like it just wasn't... bugger, now I've gone too far in. I'm playing on times 6. I'm all over the shop. We haven't even got our melee forces in line with our archers. But we've coaxed the enemy in. I think that'll do. So let's try and pull back and actually set up now as if the enemy is going to attack us. Oh, look, we've got elves here as well today. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's a terrible line. I'm absolutely all over the place. Panicking like you wouldn't believe. Now, one of the few YouTubers who I watch who regularly actually streams is an Apex Legends YouTuber called So-Far. And I say So-Far because he spelt the word so with 2 O's. And he always calls all the people watching just chat. So he says, what should we do, chat? I find that quite interesting. Now, there's 247 people now. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Can you see that counter down in the bottom corner, by the way? If anyone can, do let me know. I'd be interested to see if you can see the counter down here, and there's a counter down here as well. I wonder if you can see those. Right, we're actually going to have battle joined now. So let's do something proper. Fortunately, Callie the cat will hopefully not disrupt us today, because she was playing on the wooden table you can see just behind my thumb there, but I didn't go and play with her and she got bored and left. So hopefully she won't be giving us grief. Although I appreciate every time I say that you all say, oh, I'd love to see Callie. You can see it. Thank you very much to Maximus and Corin7. Corin7, I'm going to pick on you. Were there 6 other Corins, or did you just really like to add the number 7 after your name? Is it not enough to just be called Corin? Must you also add a number? Oh, look, we've forgotten the skin changes. Oh, well, thank you, Bari Akyaz. Accuse? I'm assuming that's not pronounced as an A. I also have to extend my thanks, of course, to Knock. Just N-O-K in capital letters. No, not Knock. Sorry, that's the currency. I don't know what currency that is. I'd be very interested to learn what currency that is. But hello all. Hopefully Callie will at least make an appearance whilst not being an absolute nuisance. Right, anyway, the battle itself. Let's send the elves out. Let's charge everyone out, in fact. Cavalry, use up some arrows before you charge in. Oh, and look, the wargs have tied up our cavalry. Oh, I haven't showed you the Airthode cavalry, have I? Let's have a look at those quickly. They look fantastic in this later edition. The Airthode have been given a real red theme that runs throughout all their models. So they've got the red cloak now. They've got bits of cloth on their bodies that's now all red. I know the Airthode were red before, but they've been sort of tarted up even more, if you will, and they display more red. Ah, Norwegian Krona. Oh, well, thank you very much. I can't scroll back up the chat, annoyingly. That's something I'd need to remember for next time. Make the chat box bigger, and then I can see more of your comments. Oh, that is a lot of wargs. Archers, can you target those wargs for me, please? Oh, and all of our archers were on backing away. This has actually been a horrible battle because I've been more focused on the chat box. But we were never going to lose this. Oh, yeah, look, we're winning without even me paying attention. It's one of those fantastic battles.
They have lost half their men.
It does give them a West Saxon vibe. My knowledge of my own history, I'm afraid, is not good enough to know the colour variations of either West or East Saxons. And the only thing I really know about West and East Saxons is that their name lives on in the counties of Essex and Wessex. Are those our archers? No, they are the enemy's archers. And our elves are getting smashed. Right, cavalry, can you loop round? Run away from the wargs. let him keep shooting the wargs. We're killing them off with arrow fire.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They
Oh,
have
welcome
lost
to
half
England.
their men.
Bucks fan 40. Do you live in Buckinghamshire by any chance? Or is that a buck as in a type of deer? Isn't a buck a male deer, actually? Alright. Oh, the Warg Marauders are running. Chase those down.
Press onward.
You hit the Ziegler archers.
Spirit of his arm.
I didn't show you the elves either, but they are just standard woodland elves, as I'm sure you're all aware. Green and brown. Very much the colour scheme of the woodland realm. They're mercenaries, so their death doesn't really matter. Let them die. Being distracted by chat is the authentic streaming experience. Well, I'll take your word for that. It certainly makes it both harder and easier. And if there were even more people, I mean, I'm just seeing now we're at 268. It just keeps rising. Were there more and more and more and more and more of you, it would be impossible to keep up with the chat. Now I understand why people barely mention the chat when they actually live stream. But surely that's the whole point of doing it. Or maybe that's just because I've always done YouTube.
The enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Alright, let's actually just watch some people fight because this battle is over. I'll also turn the game down in my own head so that I don't have to shout over it as much. I really like this unit. It's one of my favourite orc units. The weapon is ridiculous and oversized and absolute high fantasy, but I just think it looks really cool. I also think that even though they are just a generic orc model with a very plain, if you will, visual, it's a very tidy visual, and that's what I like, as I bang on about all the time. I like it when all the visuals are nice and neat. Right, let's pull basically everyone out because we've won this. Good morning from Surrey. Hello, Liam Croker. Oblivion plays ruler of Oblivion Hall and OBH. I've seen your name so many times. Enidwythe. Oh, White Bishop. Are you the White Bishop? As in, your White Bishop from Discord? Or are there just two White Bishops? Why have you got Rune World after your name? Is the Scepter of Illuminas in-game from Fallen Viper? No, I don't think it is, actually. I think that's probably an ancillary that isn't in. But it should be for the Reunited Kingdom, because that would be given to Aragorn when the kingdom unites. So if it's not in, it will be added in due course. Who is still fighting? Oh, it's an old account. Well, hello, White Bishop. For those of you that don't know, White Bishop and Brassidas, whose names you've seen pop up in that chat, if you've been following along to it, are both the highest possible rank in the Discord, which means they are on the team of, I think there's 5 of us, who decide the actual path of the Discord. We make the major decisions. Should we make new channels? Should we delete channels? And Brassidas is also the person who beat me some time ago in Age of Empires, who I moan about on a far too regular basis. Top spot today goes to the Aether Archers, which is unsurprising because Gleerwine is an absolute monster of war. But with those forces foolishly thrown away by our enemy before we've even made it to their faction leader, Khamul does not stand a flying chance. He's definitely going to go down. It'd be nice to kill Khamul. It'd be very nice to catch Khamul in a settlement where his cavalry completely loses all strength. Oh, it might be one of Elrond's ancillaries, actually. Christian Hermansson. Hopefully pronounced that right. Oh, another person who hasn't seen me. I've done like 5 or 6 face reveals by this point. So I'm always surprised when people say they haven't seen me. But this is what I look like. I'm afraid I don't look like your typical neck beard, which is a very derogatory term. But I mean, I do have a beard on my neck, but I do shave all of this bit. So technically a neck beard if you're looking at the purely literal definition of the word. Right, what should we do with Amun Lake? We've got shed loads of money, and I'm assuming most of that is from the White Council. So, and we've already built the military garrison, didn't we? We get a Master Hunter's Guild thing. That's madness. It's because it's a citadel straight off. Oh, there you go. I can answer your question. No, I can't because it doesn't show you the line. It doesn't show you the line. So we're a citadel, but who knows what was the options before that. Let's get standing stones up. Oh, dear. Escapism is mainstream now. Oh, that's the thing that I've not fixed, as I is the continuous lighting. Every time I open something, my face lights up in a sort of orange hue. And we've got reinforcements coming down the river as well. We've well and truly got Dol Guldur by the sack, and we are going to smash them. With the help of the elves, by the look of it. Although our experience with elves is that they are traitorous scum who steal settlements after you weaken the defenders. So I'm not holding out for much hope from the Elves of Lorien. And it didn't tell me that Dorlingvar rebelled. Oh, Jeebus. How much crap can they get? Still, too much for Odovacer. So you're not going to get anything out of that. But we're not worried about that. I'll tell you what we could do, because the main army doesn't need that support, actually, because we've just trashed Oguldur. So if we drop that army out and link that up with the Odovacer and head out and hit them over here. This is version 4.5-ish. It's kind of on the way to version 5. So this is the iteration of the Anduin that you will all play when version 5 releases. Which means that if you play Divide and Conquer right now, your Anduin campaign will be nothing like this one. This is a later version. Similarly, when either this one or what's it called, Dol Amroth, when either one of those two finish, we're going to play as Enid Wythe, who are really close to being finished now. Lord of Links has finished writing up all the descriptions. I finished setting up the minor bit of script that I had to do. We've sort of proofread the scripts and proofread some of the texts and made and fixed little bugs and errors and whatnot. So Enid Wythe is pretty much ready to go. The only thing that we are waiting on is the uber elite unit that we've given to Enid Wythe. So once you've reformed Enid Wythe into the new found nation of Athamor, then you get given a really powerful elite unit. I can't remember what we called them, but they've got a Gaelic name. But that unit is not actually in the mod yet, because another mod has very kindly said we can use their models. I think it's the Silmarillion Total War mod. They've said that we can use some of their models, but not until their latest version releases. So, and I don't know if that happened yet, because I let it slip my mind and I've forgotten about it. But once their unit model is available, that's going to be Enid Wythe's late game unit. Right, you hit Camul in Akhnodion, where he has a hefty garrison. I think we should probably attack, to be honest, because otherwise Camul will just attack us, and we don't really want to let him.
Yes, my lord.
We'll move a Dovacer into there, and then we'll take just him with that army. So we're going to attack Camul the Eastling. Hello, Carl Polity. Hello, Gallo. Big fan. This is my first stream. Do you stream often? No, I don't. This is the first time I've streamed, I think, in a full year and a half, maybe 2 years. If it is wildly popular, I am happy to add it to the list. I'm relatively free at weekends, and generally speaking, I could spare some time to do a live stream of an hour here or there. Oh, look, they've got a lot, but they've got too many to fill out the... Oh, no, they can have 22, can't they? They can have 22 units, whereas we only get 20. So if they had more than 2 defender units, they would have gotten them. But I think we must attack, to be honest. If they attack us, Camul gets his full advantage, whereas if we can keep him penned in and keep the Shadow Knights hemmed in, I think we stand a better chance. So we're going to go for it. This is very much the battle to decide the fate of this campaign, really. But we shall see. Enid Wythe has no need for elites. Glory to the peasants. Enid Wythe, unfortunately... Oh, that's you, White Bishop. Enid Wythe does need elites. That's exactly why they need changing. People don't like the peasants. Am I phlegmatic? Yes, I have troubles with that when I record, to be honest. Michael Parobek asks, do I play DaC in my free time, recreationally, or do I only do it for videos and testing? I only play it for videos and testing. I haven't played a campaign just to play a campaign for a long time now. Right, so that archer unit, we want to come from 2 sides. We want to surround them. They will come out of the city. Ideally, actually, I don't think we do want to come from 2 sides, because we want to try and pen them into that little gap just there. So let's do that. Let's put all of our archers together. We're going to pay a little more attention this time, so apologise if I don't get round to answering a question while the battle plays out, but this is quite possibly the most important battle in this entire campaign to the date. That's our faction leader as well, isn't it? And that's a shame, because we've not got very many melee forces. This is such an archer-heavy army. And then the cavalry's not going to be much use here either. Gleerwine is not going to be performing his usual feats, I do not think. Yeah, look, they're all behind us. Right, so send... let's pause it. I know a lot of people don't like you pausing it, but we're going to pause it. Send the best units that we can forward first. Send the crappy archers in first, because if anyone's going to die, we want it to be the rubbish ones. Then the slightly better archers come at the back, and then our best archer come over here. Gleerwine come in behind as well. And hopefully, even though I've done that all by eye, they should not all be standing on top of each other. And then run... How far forward are we going? Oh, not too far. Yeah, no, I think we need to get to at least that point. Right. Melee forces. Don't run through our entire army. So you guys come over here. There's not many of you anyway. We'll go you over there. Oh, they have 2 rows of 9 and then 2 below. Oh, I've never actually counted it. I've just always seen someone say they get 22 units. That's very useful to know. Any realistic timescale on version 5 of Divide and Conquer? No, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. We still need to do Moria, we still need to do the Reunited Kingdom, we still need to do Dunland, we still need to do Cand, and we need to test all of those. So, no, I really, when I throw around the term, it might well be a year from now. I say that with some truth. Often lies, truth is hidden, which you'll all know Glorfindel said at the Council of Elrond. And is a very, very useful quote that I pop out all the time. Right, we're calling them in, and Camul's Shadow Knights are charging square into our first unit. Camul's Shadow Knights are quite possibly one of the best units on Dol Guldur roster, visually, and unfortunately they are from Reforged. They're not even our own creation, but they are a fantastic model, and kudos to Reforged for whoever created this. I particularly like the feathers on the heads. I think they look fantastic. They just look really cool as well. I know they're just silver versions of Easterlings, but it's amazing how a simple colour change can make a unit look fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Hi Galu, can you make a video about guilds? What kind of guilds are, what gives us points to build them? Is there any alien guild that is usable by faction with different culture, etc.? I could give you a video about guilds, and I could go through all the guilds. That's been something that's been requested a few times. I can put it on the list. Guilds are a fairly underdeveloped feature in DaC, and to be honest, they're an underdeveloped feature in Medieval 2 because they never really worked all that well. But I can at least give you a general breakdown because there's a few main guilds that are shared throughout quite a few of the factions in the game. Camul's Shadow Knights have charged in, and by the looks of it, they are going to pay for their hubris. Although, look, we're getting flanked on. 9% of the enemy has died, and the elves should be giving him Camul's Shadow Knights what for. But if we can get our faction leader, who's called Britta, I think, get him to run through the archers and get him to hit the Shadow Knights, we'll make short work of those. Jeremy Waters says, Livestream Pog. I have absolutely no idea what that means. If that's a youth thing, it's just gone over my head, I'm afraid. So the meaning of your attempt of a message, whether good or ill, is totally lost on me. Now, the list of special videos from me increases. Yeah, it sounds good. The Pike one. I'm interested in doing the Pike one, but I'm also not interested in doing the Pike one because we all know that the First Legion of Khazad-dûm are going to win, which is a massive spoiler, but you just know that. And to be honest, we all know that Dorwinian Zavari Pikes, although they're not called that anymore, are they? They're called Morroquendi Guard or Morroquendi Sentinels or something like that. They're going to come second. And so those are number 1 and 2. But it's interesting to see who fills out the rest of the spaces. And particularly interesting to see where Farmhand Pikemen come in the list. But speaking of units that are poor that shouldn't be doing well, last time we had Hobbits versus generic Nazgul, and this time we have Hobbits versus Camul himself. And hopefully they are going to smash him. Now Camul doesn't have a sort of unique model. He just looks like a generic Nazgul. Oh, yeah, there he is. No, he has a crown. Yes, of course. We gave him a crown so that he stands apart from the other Nazgul. So he's actually up against the Valesmen at the moment, sadly. Poggers equals very good / excited, says Turka Finway. Oh, right. So if someone said live stream Pog, does that mean that I am very good / excited, or that all the people watching are very good / excited? Oh, Imladris Pikes, yeah, no, they'll... Oh, that's actually a point. They might even beat the First Legion. Now, what are they called now? They're the Eldarinwe ones, aren't they? Eldarinwe Tierno. Yes, because that means guard. And the other ones are the Eldarinwe Rochen, which just means riders. Both of those words, though, are Quenya. I don't speak Quenya, so that was just... I think we either asked someone in the community or that was a simple search of like an online dictionary. It does make sense, though, because obviously the Sindarin for guard is Tirith, and the Sindarin for rider is Rochon, which many of you will know, because, of course, Rohan, despite being based entirely on Anglo-Saxons and having absolutely nothing to do with Elvish, are named in Sindarin. Rohirrim and Rohan are both Sindarin words. And I think it's probably an example of where Tolkien was so keen on getting his language into the game, into the world, that he gave them an elvish name long before he ever really gave them an identity. And so then when their identity became more fleshed out, he then probably thought, bugger, I should have probably given them a name in their own tongue rather than in Sindarian. But Rohan just means riders. Like, it literally just means riders. And as does Rohirrim. Rohirrim means people of the horse or horse folk. Rim, R-I-M, as a suffix denotes like land or peoples. Generally it means peoples. And Rohirrim just means peoples of the horse. Right, what are we on now? 50% and only 15% of them have gone down. Oh, Galadriel might have named the Rohirrim, that's true. It means yay livestream. Well, thank you, Wardrecken. That's very useful to know. Right, let's get the cavalry into those defenders. This battle is well and truly over. We still have half our ammunition left to go. Kamal has not yet died, though, but his bodyguard has. But I don't know where he is. Can we catch him? Oh, he's over there. He's over here. Oh, yes, there you go. He's taking out our archers. Right, Britta, get yourself out of there. Who are you fighting? You're dying to Mirkwood goblins, you fool. This is where we are now suffering from the fact we have very, very few melee forces in this army. We're having to rely on cavalry charges in a city battle, which is never good. Gleowine, go the other way. But the hobbits are still going. Damn bloody right, the hobbits are still going. Monsters. Fallen Viper asks, ever thought about a script for returning the lost Palantir stones of Anuminas or Amun-Sul after occupying the Ice Bay of Foreshell, which will also require restoring the buildings that house them? No, not really, to be honest. The Palantir are such a meh feature in Third Age. I think they're absolutely useless because they act like a random spy, and I just thought that was rubbish. And in DaC, we just make them a one-off boosting building. But of course, remember, scripts slow down the game, and we try and keep them to an absolute minimum. We try and give each faction at least something interesting to do, and often that has to involve a script. But once we've done with that, we try to keep scripts as light as possible. Right, most of our units aren't shooting anymore because the enemy's all the way over there, so we're going to try and run our archers out. So if you can run to there for now, and let's get all of these ones out, and we'll sacrifice that one to Kamal's attempts to kill us. Run those away, run those away. Liam Croker asks, I always wondered, if Saruman managed to attain and successfully equip the One Ring, would he have an edge over Sauron, or would he just eventually become just another corrupted Maiar? Almost certainly the latter. Tolkien writes the ring as being, and Gandalf says a few times, that essentially no one but Sauron can master it. So Sauron would probably actually love Saruman to get the ring, because whilst it would take a little bit of time, although time is not something that really bothers those that live forever, he would eventually corrupt Saruman, and I don't think Sauron would be bothered with Saruman getting the ring at all. I don't think anyone can actually master the ring. It is Sauron's own will. To master the ring, you have to master Sauron, and I just don't think there's any way a sort of lesser Maiar, if you will, which is what essentially the Astari are, would be able to best Sauron's will. But that, of course, is entirely subjective. You may think that Saruman might have been able to do it, but I just can't see it. I think Sauron, such a shame they're both named so similarly. I think Sauron would have welcomed Saruman finding the ring, because that's an opportunity to get a very powerful follower. There would be a period of disruption, though. The ring doesn't corrupt you instantly, does it? So there would be a brief time where I think Saruman would have unbelievable power. Oh, Kamal has died. And so has his guard, to the hands of our own skin changers. And not just our skin changers, but our leader himself. Fantastic. One faction leader faces another. That would have been the title of this video had it not just simply been live. But I thought live summed up what was happening a bit better than anything else. Right, you're all in position. Can we please shoot this archer unit down here? Shoot them. And cavalry. Right, cavalry. Let's go and shut down those siege units. What was that one occasion in one of your videos when something's name was randomly generated as Roskir Vane, which means brown boat and finish? I'm not entirely certain on the question there, but Roskir Vane was given to a village in the far north of the map by the Third Age team a very, very long time ago. And when it was announced in Divide and Conquer, again years ago, that we were going to remove that village because it was a complete waste of a region, people mentioned that, oh no, you can't remove that village because Ruskirvane means brown boat in Finnish, and so instead we named a settlement Brown Boat, which some people disagreed with, but I always thought was funny. And we specifically named a region that was very far from the sea Brown Boat because it just added to that foolishness, and I was all for that. Right, the unit that we were hoping to actually use quite well here today hasn't really done anything. But all of you can now move further forward, and our cavalry has now made it round the back. Let's move those woodmen up as well. Oh, that's a terrible position. Go there if you can. Thank you. Cavalry, going around the back. We need to go and shut down those ballistae. They're giving us grief. Martin Eggman says, and it's live. Bombadil would have just lost the ring due to lack of interest. Yeah, Bombadil is just an absolute anomaly. I just don't see worth or merit in trying to guess what Bombadil was, what would have happened had he picked up the ring, because just nobody knows. And he's written to be exactly that. He's written so that nobody knows. Tolkien purposefully created an enigma, to my thinking. And so it's futile trying to guess what would happen, because not even Tolkien himself knows really what would happen, if you ask me. But everyone absolutely loves Tom Bombadil, don't they? Have you ever played the Fellowship of the Ring video game? Because Tom Bombadil in that is absolutely fantastic, and the songs that he sings are still to this day stuck in my head.
Victory will be ours.
I did enjoy that game a great deal, but I absolutely hated the forest level right at the beginning with the spiders. Not because of the spiders, but because it was a labyrinth, and I just got lost in there so much. I also found it really jarring that because the Fellowship of the Ring game was actually based on the book, even though it came out after the films, it was really bizarre that it ended before Boromir died. Because at that point I still wasn't that au fait with the books. I'd still only really knew the films, and I played Fellowship of the Ring, and it just ends with Legolas shooting down a fell beast, and I was like, what the bloody hell is this? Why is Boromir not dead yet? I want to fight the Nazgûl. The Nazgûl, they're an invention of our own. I want to fight the Uruk-hai and Lurtz. But of course it was based on the book, and the first book ends before Boromir dies, which I think is a fantastic creative decision of the films to put the death of Boromir at the end of the first film rather than the very beginning of the second one. And I don't think I've yet met a fan who disagrees with that. I think almost everyone who watches the films agrees that Boromir dying at the end of the first is a much better way of having him die. Right, let's charge all of these units in from the back, because this is now over. We're mostly relying on the cavalry to finish them off, but cavalry will start losing their benefits now because they can't charge into the enemy very well. We've got a few units that can still fire. Actually, sod it. Just charge everyone in. Just charge the lot in. There's literally a single archer unit standing in there. What is the most compelling thing to me in Lord of the Rings, says BucksFan40. Well, BucksFan40, I'm not going to answer that until you answer my question of, is Bucks fan because you like Buckinghamshire? Because I asked you that a moment ago and you didn't reply. I'd like to know why you're a Bucks fan and what specifically about it is about Bucks that you particularly like. Boromir's death was still a very, very sad moment, and everyone can agree on that. And yeah, as you say with the games, it was then a complete flip because the Return of the King game is based on the films, not the books. We lost hardly anyone there. I was expecting to actually have a bit of a tough fight, but with so many archers, Dol Guldur just... anyone really. The AI cannot deal with archer-heavy armies, and Anduin is an archer-heavy nation. 238 kills at the top spot. Is our faction leader for a change? No, almost. Gleerwine. No. Aethead cavalry are the cavalry. Gleerwine coming third, Aethead archers. So our faction leader came second, so we'll take that. Very, very nice. Oh, did Bucksfan reply, anyone? Just an old email. Ugh, that's such an anticlimax. Absolute shame. My old email. I only have two emails, a formal, official one, and the one that I created when I was a child. And I used an Elven name translator online to create my name for my email. And that was long before I got properly into Sindarin. And the name that it created, I then later learned, was just absolute gibberish. Not Sindarin or Quenya or anything at all. It's literally just a flowery sounding name. But to this day, that's remained as my email address, and people always question me when I give it out because it sounds nothing like Edward. And so they absolutely lose it when I say it. But it's short and it's easy to spell, and so I've kept it forever. And then my other one is just boring. It's just a variation on the initials in my name so that people know who they're emailing. Oh, no way. When did Gleerwine die? Ah. I can't believe Gleerwine just died. He didn't even do... Oh my good God. Why do they always get taken in such boring and ignominious ways? Ah, Gleerwine. No, we're just going to simply call it the Hero's Fall. Because he's already got a mountain named after him. That is so ridiculous. And I could, in my head instantly thought, you're all going to press F, aren't you? Because that's something that happens online. I can't believe Gleerwine just died. That is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, at least it was up against Kamul. So, I mean, it served a purpose. It served a purpose. His death will not pass in vain. Oh, that's so annoying. He's such a good general. It's alright. But we needed him to take on Mordor with the ring. Oh, that's so annoying. Alaric's got to take the ring on his own now. And he's got Gollum following him. That's a joke. How did he die, King Strategist? A bloody good question. How did he die? He barely did anything. Absolutely ridiculous. We've been conned. We've been shafted by RNGesus there. Bloody games. Oh, we need to murder someone for this. Dol Guldur now have nothing over the river, and we border them. Where's Radagast? Oh, he's in the Cala Gorge. Come and talk to Lothlorien and get them to make sure they don't attack us in the back. Now, when I do this, my camera then goes sort of semi-transparent, and I have a question for you all. Does it go semi-transparent for you, or can you just simply not see that top line of text? I'd be very interested to know that. He dies in the final 30 seconds. Oh, and I missed it. That's so annoying. What is it you wish to discuss? Can we have an alliance? I'll give you my map information and I'll pay you some money because I'd really just like you on side. How does 2 grand sound? Generous. No, oh, come off it, you stuck-up bastards. Well, 2,000 gold coins. Farewell. I massively dwarf you. Oh, it doesn't show you relative power levels, does it? Oh, that's so annoying. And relations... Oh, Kingdom of Rohan like us a bit more. Oh, well, that's nice. Myglad the Fearless charges on. Right, well, let's move the army out. We don't want to leave them all here. Oh, what was the question? No, I can't see it. Ah, smashing. Thank you very much, Arthanatos. Oh, Arthanatos, you're one of the members, aren't you? So you get the green thingy on your name, and you get one of the cool badges that I made. If I do say so myself. I dabble in graphical art. You know how it is. 13. Oh no, we need melee troops. We need as many melee troops as possible. We're leaving archers behind. Oh, we might as well leave Britta. Oh, but then we don't have anyone. Ah, Alaric. Alaric, come forth from your slumber, sir. You are to lead us in battle. Glorious battle. And we must take Dor Norhak in the Brown Lands. This is, of course, where the Entwives actually lived. Now, I don't think that's actually set in stone. I think that might just be general fan conjecture, isn't it? I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure we all take it as read that the Brownlands is where the Entwives did live, because Sauron burnt this entire place to the ground, and with it the Entwives themselves. So that's where we're moving into, which is why it's now just a wasteland. What's my answer after your disappointing email answer? That's a very good question, BucksFan40. I've completely forgotten your question. If you would repost it, I will answer it. If you do an @ my name, it then puts that bit in orange and it makes it easier to see. I'd welcome that. Right, I think we need to end the turn again. How are things going up in Mount Gleerwine? Only 2 turns to go. Smashing. Hello, Zardar. Great content you make on your channel. Who is Zardar? Oh, there's Zardar. Well, hello, Zardar. I'm not familiar with you. Oh, while I've got you all here, you should... That's complete tangent and absolutely crapping on Zardar, who I'm afraid I've not seen your content. I'm sure it's absolutely fantastic. But do note that Sir Orgamond, who is here on YouTube, he is one of the beta testers, and he asks for access to various version 5 related factions, and he plays them on his channel. So if you are interested in more version 5 content specifically, Sir Orgamond will soon be starting a new campaign as well. I think he said he was going to do Dorwinian. I can't quite remember. And also remember that Izzy recently got access to version 5 as well, so he will have version 5 content, so you can Oh, an armada. Rumours have spread from the coasts of Middle-earth that an armada of black-sailed warships is heading north, raiding and pillaging as they go. The fleet was last seen passing the Cape of Andrast, but none can say where they are headed. I wrote that, which is why it's absolutely smashing. I say that in jest, by the way. I'm not conceited and big-headed.
Yes.
If I do say so myself. No, I don't actually think I'm some god's gift of writing or anything. Oh, Bucks fan, did you answer your question? What is the most compelling thing about Lord of the Rings to me? The most compelling thing about Lord of the Rings to me is absolutely, far and away, Dol Amroth, the nation of, and everything about them. They are so, so cool. And the brief stint they have in the books was enough to make me absolutely love them from day one. Otherwise, I really like Numenor as a concept and as a nation. They're the next best thing. Why do you think I called my cat Taran Kalame? Because she, although she was a bit of a bitch, arguably, she's got a cool name, and she's from Numenor, so it'll do. But Lord of the Rings, I think, one of the best things about Lord of the Rings, if we're talking as a whole rather than a specific item within it, is how fleshed out it is. You can read the Lord of the Rings and enjoy the story and think, oh, I like Aragorn, I like Legolas, I like Gimli, I like this, I like that. But you can also read it and think, oh, I really like Rohan, I'd like to read more about them. And if you read another book, you may never get that closure. You may never find those answers. But in Lord of the Rings, Tolkien has devoted so much time to expanding the mythos. You can find out about almost anything. Now, obviously, some people don't get lucky. If you really like Dorwinion, you are right out of luck because you're not going to find out anything about them. But most things are quite well fleshed out, and that's what I really like. Milos Rajkovic asks, do I think Lord of the Rings series will be good, or will we get Game of Thrones ending version 2? Personally, I think the Lord of the Rings series, something we all must appreciate, is going to be made to capture the Game of Thrones audience. So if you are disappointed that your fantasy genres have nudity in or extreme violence, then I just think Lord of the Rings is not going to be the one. I cannot see them going any other way than following in Game of Thrones footsteps. Not only do they want to capture the Game of Thrones audience, but they want to absolutely capture the success of Game of Thrones. This is going to be Amazon's first really big foray into fantasy, but also kind of their biggest TV offering, isn't it? The only thing I've watched on Amazon that I know of and can quote and tell people to watch is the Grand Tour, because I'm from the UK and I love Top Gear. So I really like the three. I know they're very controversial figures, but I like Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. So I watch the Grand Tour. I also really like The Boys, and that's the other Amazon show I would recommend to people. But beyond that, the only other one I've ever even heard of, and I've not watched, is The Man in the High Castle. So I think Amazon is riding a lot on this series, really capturing a massive audience. And so it's going to be popularist. It's going to have elements that would attract a wide audience. And unfortunately, as you all know, as every marketing and advertising agency in history knows, sex sells. It's going to have nudity in it. Absolutely. And that's the first thing I would definitely say. Beyond that, though, it's anyone's guess. They've chosen a really good time period where they've got lots of creative license, because Numenor is such an underdeveloped aspect of... I've just gone on a rant about how Tolkien... or not a rant, but a praise lecture on how Tolkien expands on so much. But in truth, Numenor is such a small period. The entirety of the Second Age, there's almost more written about the Battle and War of the Last Alliance, which is the last 10 years of the Second Age, than there is about the 3,000 years preceding it. It's such an underdeveloped time period, so they've got lots of creative license. I think that's good. And if memory serves, they've chosen the downfall of Numenor as the setting, so the point at which Sauron is captured and taken back, which is a fantastic setting. You get to watch a proud and haughty people descend into human sacrifice. I mean, I just think that's going to be very entertaining. Not for the human sacrifice, but for watching them fall into nothingness. And to be honest, on the point of nudity, if a nation is partaking in human sacrifice, they're gonna be a bit frisky. They're not gonna be prudes, are they? Let's be honest. If you're willing to slay your neighbour so that the rain still falls, you're not gonna be bothered about sleeping with the other neighbour, are you? I just don't think nudity is gonna be a problem. If that is indeed the setting they've chosen. If they've chosen High Numenor in the first sort of 1,000 years of its history, up to the point that it then comes back and rapes Ened Wyeth and steals all the wood that it can, That period, I think you'd struggle with nudity because those are like the prim and proper Numenorians. But the later Numenorians are all about debauchery. So I just think it fits, to be honest. Oh, look, this is where Gleowine would be. Gleowine! We need him. So that's all a very long-winded way of saying, to be honest, I think the series will be good. And if it's got nudity or if it doesn't even follow the law, what the hey? I'm just excited to go back into Middle-earth, even if it will be a totally different depiction of the same. We were attacked from 3 places, weren't we? And I didn't pay attention. 2 of them were from in front. And then is the city coming in? I think they're all in front of us. I'm going to gamble that they're all in front of us. I am going to gamble that they're all in front of us. And I'm going to cowardly pull back. Because then if they're not, we can deal with the ones that are going to be up here behind us first. Although this isn't a very good hill, actually. Oh, this is a lovely hill. Yes. You will do. Now, if the enemy comes through here, we are absolutely butter and screwed. Oh, thank goodness for that. They are sort of all coming from in front of us. Yes. Brahulus Brah. What a name. Is this DaC version 4.5? This seems to look a bit more different than my game. It definitely looks different from your game because this is DaC version 5. That's the point of the channel. You may or may not know that I am the head modder of Divide and Conquer. I've been in that position now for, I think, 4 years, and I've been a part of the team for 7 years. And so you get the most up-to-date as possible content for Divide and Conquer from me. And those of whom we've allowed to show Divide and Conquer. I'm afraid I cannot pronounce your name, as I cannot read traditional Chinese script, or if that's simplified, can't read that either. But thank you very much for the gift there. That's most welcome. Certainly unlooked for, but most welcome. And even though I don't know you, I love you too, friend. I've been to New Zealand, and I'm going back again, damn it, in a year's time, provided my job allows me to have 2 months off. Hopefully, if anyone's listening, that's not going to be news to them. I doubt anyone's listening. But and I'm going to go back to New Zealand. Jess and I are going to go back, and we're going to do it in a bit more style because we're a bit wealthier now than we were when we went 3-4 years ago. But I absolutely loved it. We looked into, I'm sure I've said this before, but we looked into moving to New Zealand. But there were just too many drawbacks, really. But fortunately, because New Zealand and England have very, very close ties, historically and still in modern times, me being a lawyer, I can still practice law in New Zealand without having to do any sort of conversion course. So at least that bridge would have been crossed. But there were many other problems, so we decided against it. But we spent a long time looking into it. I was close to a perfect pronunciation of your name. Ah, well, thank you very much. I do try to get names based off the little knowledge that I have, but it's the J in the middle. I just can't... I really want to say Raj. I know that in most sort of Slavic and Eastern European languages and names, that VIC always ends in Vich, but... and I assume the J is pronounced more like a Y, but I'm just not sure, I'm afraid. And I apologise if your name is not actually Slavic. I've used that term, but I'm not 100% sure it applies, so I apologise. Arthur Daphos asks, do I like French people? Of course I don't like French people. I'm British. Christ alive, sir. We hate them with a burning and deep and desirous passion. And they're really grumpy in supermarkets. I apologise if you're French, but every time I've been to France and been to supermarkets, gods above are you people grumpy. It's like they make it their mission to get in the way with their trolleys. I've never seen anything like it. Now, it could just be because I'm English, and stereotypes exist partly for a reason, and we joke, but English people and French people do have a sort of underlying grumpy tolerance of each other. But then that is because we have been at war for most of our country's histories. And it is only natural that you might then develop a minor distaste for one another. But I'm saying all of this in jest. I personally have no qualms with French people. I can speak a little bit of French. Very, 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 very basic. But a little bit, nevertheless. Right, everyone's moving into position. We were waiting for the enemy to come to us because they attacked us, so they've got to come to us. Oh, now I'm going to struggle with your name because Portuguese is so different from Spanish to my ear. But Miasa asks, do I like Portuguese people? And again, I've never met a Portuguese person I did not like. And I've worked with 2 Portuguese people, actually. And they were both lovely, very friendly people. I also particularly like Amar Pelos Dois, the Eurovision Song Contest winning entry from 2017, I think. It's an absolutely smashing song. and I like that one a lot. I was pleased that it won. Oh, we've not got any melee forces in front of our archer line. Oh, this is going bad already. And we've put the hobbits on top of the hill. Oh, God. Hobbits, come down the hill. Cavalry, come and save our archers. Did we put the crap archers in front at least? Yes, we did. That's nice. Nice. Breaking news, Gallo is French. Get out of here. No, 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 no. Are there people that I don't like? No, not really, to be honest. I mean, there's individual persons who I've met, and I just think, God, you're so grumpy. Like, cheer up, love. I say love there specifically because there's one person in mind who I just think is the grumpiest woman I've ever met, and I just don't understand what she has to be grumpy about. But I won't go into more detail about that. But no, a generic sweeping statement. There aren't any types of people or groups of people that I don't like. But just, I suppose, grumpy people are a type of people. But everyone's circumstances are different. But this lady, there's just no reason she needs to be grumpy. She has such an easy life and such a lovely and wonderful life, and yet she's just so moody all the time. For just seemingly nonsense stuff. I just don't get it. Just cheer up. Exactly, Elzar. Hello, Peter from Bulgaria. Oh, from Switzerland. People all over the place. Do you know which country, we can play a little game, what do you think are the top 3 viewership countries of this channel? Which 3 nations do you think contribute the most viewers to my channel? I'll give you a bit of time. Do think it through. It's the Latin part of us, we are harsh. Oh, Los Angeles, hello there.
Very much in our favor. Victory will
Right, that first army came and melted, and the second army is coming a bit slower. I think using the archers as a buffer is actually quite alright. Oh, we've got UK, Germany and Sweden. Joshua Klakmo, that's a bizarre name, he's gone for Russia. USA, UK, Canada. UK, USA, Germany. The Netherlands is in there. England, US and New Zealand. Germany is getting voted a lot. Lots of people saying Germany. That's very interesting. Finland. And lots of you are replying. Crime and Netleys. That's going faster than I can read it. Germany, Sweden and France. Well, it would come as absolutely no surprise to you all to learn that I'm afraid the top 3 are all English-speaking countries. And they are indeed the USA, the UK, and I believe Canada takes the 3rd spot. But Germany is really high. Germany and the Netherlands are both in the top 10. I just can't remember their exact positions. Australia is also relatively high as well, but that is entirely expected. I speak English and so do they, so they don't need to have subtitles or anything. I also, if I may, speak the Queen's English. I mean, if you ever come to England and you visit anywhere further north than Watford Gap on the motorway, then, I mean, good luck to you trying to understand them. Barbarians live up there, to be honest. Netherlands, yeah, Netherlands is high. But then that's because... isn't it essentially that Dutch is such a minor language nowadays that it is imperative that people in the Netherlands speak something else because very few people learn Dutch. And so in the Netherlands, I've never, again, speaking of the Netherlands, it was asked right at the beginning, wasn't it? I've never met a Dutch person who could not speak fluent English. And sometimes they speak English better than English people. It is insane. The education system is fantastic. I can't speak any Dutch though, and when I've heard someone speaking Dutch, I am always amazed. Like, how does your mouth move to do that? I just don't get it. Sean Bean is the absolute epitome of a barbarian. He's from Birmingham, isn't he? I'm like, oh dear. Pick a side, Birmingham. Are you southern or are you northern? The Midlands is like the grey, damp area, isn't it? Let's be honest. Although having said that, I live just outside of Milton Keynes, and we're closing on being Midlands, so. Things are going badly. Right, top spot today in this battle that we barely paid attention to. 274 kills, Woodman Hunters, well done, sirs. We barely lost anything as well. Only a few friendly fires. Oh, all 16 Vale Archers were killed by our own team. Don't tell their wives and families that. Sheffield, yes, of course, sorry. Yeah, no, completely wrong on that front. Yeah, because he supports the Blades, doesn't he? Wednesday, Sheffield Wednesday. Or is Sheffield... Which one's the Blades? The Blades is United, isn't it? Because Sheffield Wednesday call themselves Wednesday. MK is a cool place. Herefordshire. Alright, Dulguldore's slowly getting beaten off, but that large army away to the north, that one didn't attack us. I thought they would, but they've not bothered. We're also closing in on being in exactly an hour in. I think a fair warning to you all, I will only go for about 20 more minutes, so that will be finishing my time at 12:30, which is GMT at the moment, because we're not on summertime. If we attack that fort, both of those armies are going to come back and hit us, and I'm not sure we can actually do that many forces. I think we might need our reinforcements from Odavasir. Oh, Dorlin! Oh, Christ alive! These elves have just so got it in for me. Oh, gods above! Do me a favour, elves. Where was this army when we were hoping that they'd take Bur Alge? It took them ages to get Bur Alge, and yet they've taken Dorlingvar in a heartbeat. Barely even looking. Ridiculous. I can't get the army outside the fort. That one won't bring the fort army into battle because there's a gap. So they won't bring the forts. We can't cheese it. We could try and attack him on his own, but to be honest, I'd rather try and wait for our reinforcements to combine. Is this Alaric as well, isn't it? What happens if Alaric dies? What happens with the ring script if the ring leader loses it? What are you saying about just an alliance on its own? Oh, brilliant. No money needed. Oh, well, fantastic. Well, should we try and map info each other as well, just for shits and gigs? Go on. Yes.
An honor and a pleasure.
Nice.
Farewell.
Misty Mountains reached. Fangorn reached. Oh, you've not got much, have you? Kadas Galadon. They've got this one, which is called Lim here. Yes. And that one, which I named but cannot remember the name of. Idraichan, of course. What do we do with this army? What do we do with the Drunken Sailor? That's the real question. Construction report. Meitelberg got the mountain outposts and can build a keep. Oh, fantastic. Our first keep. The keep gives increase in tradable goods, population growth of 1%, and a building income of 250. Thank you very much to Leonard Pfeiffer for your financial contribution to the success of the channel. Again, totally unlooked for, but thanked and very welcome, of course. So thank you very much for that. Oh, we can get roads in Bjorn's tomb. I'll take that. Oh, we've got loads of money. Goodness gracious. Build some units, Galley, for crying out loud. Let's go with that. And does anyone have any more divide and conquer related questions over the next 20 minutes that do not involve when is the next version going to release and can you add Dwarven Goat Riders? Because I will say no to both of those things. I think what we should do is attack and just go balls to the wall, to be honest. And hope that the enemy does pull back and we just manage to smash them. I have pretty white teeth. Do I do something besides brushing them to keep them white? Well, no, that's just a trick of the camera, I'm afraid. I just brushed my teeth. I had braces when I was younger, which makes them straighter. But I don't do anything special with them. And if you were to see them in real life, I don't have horribly stained yellow teeth or anything. But they're not, like, gloriously white. Can we add Enidwythe Fishrise Get Out? Did you change Enidwythe's general unit, or is it still the same? No, it's been changed, and I think they're archers. Oh, look, Rohan are getting involved. Nice. Welcome, Rohan. How many more custom settlements are possible? Is there a limit? There is a limit, Soul Sunman. And that limit is something I can't tell you off the top of my head, because we are limited by the number of factions and then the number of settlements that we've locked off to be custom. So there are 4 tiers of custom settlement. The 2 top castle tiers, Fortress and Citadel, and the 2... Oh, no, and then the largest towns. There are only 3 custom settlement tiers. And we've only got as many factions times 3. So I think there are 31 factions is the limit. But one of those factions is the script faction, which can't create anything. So there are only 30. So there are 90 available custom settlements. As a very, very basic thought process and equation there. This is a wonderful hill, but we'll never get on top of there before they attack us. But then they again did attack us, so again we can just run away. Both of them are again coming from in front of us, so let's just pull back to this hill here, and we'll set up when they arrive. The enemy have brought up more men. So the custom settlement limit won't be reached by DaC. There are 199 available regions in Medieval 2. So if we can make 90 of those custom, essentially we can do almost half the map as a custom settlement. But then remember that some of them are locked off for upgrading as well. But no, essentially every settlement that should have a custom can get one. That's well within our power. Who did I just put there? Hobbits, didn't I? Right, Alaric, take the front line, and then the cavalry, come do what you can. Apologies if I've missed your question. There are so many more people than expected. 410 is insane. It's just madness to me. Do settlement names change automatically, or did you change them? No, you have to change them yourselves, Sjorensen. We're going to bring that back for Tharbad for Enid Wythe is going to change to its new Gaelic name that we've given it, and I think we're going to bring it back for Minas Morgul and for Dol Guldur as well, possibly. Stephen Warhammer, is replying to Arthanatos in German by the looks of it. Buter, Breren Gren Silis, Vadat net sitze Kennis gin Opriokte Fries, is my guess at how you pronounce that phrase. What's the map making tool for Med 2? Where can you find it? There is no map making tool for Med 2. Med 2 mapping is ridiculously easy. All you need is GIMP or Photoshop, and then you need to go into your data folder and go into the folder called World, and then the folder called Maps, and then the folder called Base. Data, World, Maps, Base. Yeah, and then in there are a number of TGF picture files, and they are the map editing. So, for example, if you're doing it, there's one for terrain, and there are various colours, and each colour means a thing. So, black means untamed wilderness. Dark green means impassable forest. So if you paint the map with dark green and then you play the game, there will be impassable forest where you've painted dark green. And light green is normal forest, and etc, etc. The climates work the same way. The climate is you just paint a colour on the map, and that colour corresponds to a climate, and that's how you create climates. Even the regions themselves are done with just, again, RGB colours. Every region has a unique colour, completely unique. So even if they look really similar when you're looking at the map, the actual image of the regions, not the colours in game, but the region colours in when you're editing the mod. Even if the colours are really similar, if they're out by even just 1 point in the RGB scale, they will be unique regions. So you just have to make sure, which is how you can, if you want, have separated regions, which we do have in DaC, with the wilderness across the very top and across the very bottom. That is actually the same region, so that we could save some space. So that's how you edit the mod. There was a map tool that was created on Total War Center, which did allow you to edit everything in one place, but it also massively broke your game. You had to edit everything from day one using that tool, or it would overwrite so many of your changes. So you just couldn't use that at all. Spencer McGeehan says, bro, you are pretty much the best Total War content creator, period. Oh, you deserve all the views. Well, thank you very much for your support and comments there. That's greatly appreciated. Hello there from Suffolk, Saskatoon, Canada. I've not been to Canada, but it's on the list. But I mean, it's just getting away. It's very tricky. Joshua CK Lamo 277 is what I'm going to call you. Arachia, I have an issue where, when in battle, zooming into my troops or the battle map in general is extremely, I'm assuming, laggy. Is there a way to fix this? I've never had issues on the battle map, and I think they possibly pertain more to your computer setup than anything in the mod. The mod is not massively taxing on the graphics, but bizarre things can slow it down. And the more units that are present in the battle, the more likely it is to lag. And again, if you do have just an underpowered machine, which you probably don't, to be honest, so then my answer is useless. But if you do have a slightly underpowered machine, that will affect it. And you will get less units on the battle map. But if you've ever gone into custom battle and you've tried to add more than 4,000 units, the game warns you, you are approaching the 4,000 limit. You sure you want to go over this? It might slow down. Ravenga CZ, are you from Czechia, or do you just like the initials CZ? Is it planned to rework more factions than those that are announced? Not at the moment. We'll have a think as we go through, but no, I don't think... At the moment, we want to just overhaul the ones that everyone universally hated. Mordor is also planned in the future, because Mordor needs something. They're so vanilla, and we need to bring them to the standard of the others. But other than that, I think that's about it. That sworn infantry stupidity as the ND is still in the mod. Yes, I don't know why you think they're stupid. You've not provided any reasons to why you think they're stupid, nor have you provided any reasons to what you would change about them. But in answer to your raw question, regardless of my disagreement of the words used, yes, they are still in the mod. What do we want DaC to be? Is there an end game? Oh, that's Buck's fan. You've used up your question, but I'll give it you again. To be honest, we just want DaC to be fun, and with the benefit of a mod and not being paid and not having a board of directors to impress and to keep happy, is you can just keep doing stuff until you get bored.
Without him, his
And
troops will lose
the
their
one thing that I always want DaC to be is stable. If we can keep it as crash-free as possible. And I worry that, to be honest, we're putting too much stress on the engine now, and we might be getting to a point where that's no longer as realistic as we hoped, and crashes might be a touch more inevitable, which I don't like. But that would be the ultimate goal, DaC to just be stable. Beyond that, no, we just keep going until we all stop, really. That's how most mods tend to end. There's always more you can change, and when time is completely on your side, which for DaC it totally is, Creative Assembly aren't making a Lord of the Rings Total War anytime soon, so if Lord of the Rings Total War is what you're in for, Vanilla Third Age and DaC are kind of your big two only options if you want this time period. There's Silmarillion Total War, there's DCI Last Alliance, both of those dealing with First and Second Ages respectively. But if it's the period in time covered by the films, DaC and Third Age are all you've really got. DaC is to only feature cavalry units in the future. Why do the Northern Dunedain give their ancestors armor to other nations? That's why it's stupid. They should use it. But the sworn infantry only fight for the Dunedain. They don't fight for anyone else, do they? I don't think Bree get them. Oh, Spax Worsley has had his message retracted, or rather, he maybe retracted it himself. Give dwarves 8 ballista instead of 4. If the dwarves got more ballista units per battalion, they would just be ridiculously overpowered. I don't think we're actually going to win this one, if I'm going to be honest, because our melee line is going to break. And our general is almost certainly going to die in this battle. And the wargs have captured and caught our cavalry. Can you fire, please? If you're able to fire. Oh, you run out of arrows. You've run out of arrows. Right, charge into those. And you guys, let's get you flanking round. Can you do the same? Yep, let's go, let's go, let's go. Keep the hobbits going. Keep the hobbits protected at all costs. You've seen Rise of Mordor mapping tools. No, I haven't seen the Rise of Mordor mapping tools, but I understand Rise of Mordor is making real strides in being able to actually create a fully functional mod. But they've been going almost as long as DaC's been going, and there still isn't a playable mod. I just worry it's taking too long. But if it finishes well, then that's the best they'll get in it. Will Breland get an Uber unit like the Hobbit that is OOP? No, the Breland already kind of get the Uber units with the Gatekeepers and the Merchant, whatever the second Merchant one is called. James Woods says, considering how many people we've got viewing the stream, it might be worth getting a few moderators for chat in the future. That's certainly something I would consider if we stream again. I'm absolutely amazed we have 415 people still here after an hour and a half, which is very, very uplifting and rewarding for me personally. And I hope you've all enjoyed the time. As I say again, do remember I am going to go in about 10 minutes' time. So if you have any burning or pressing questions, do get them in, because otherwise I'm going to skedaddle. DaC really nailed siege units. The siege seems way more powerful than in Vanilla Med 2, but not too overtuned. In DaC it's actually worth getting field artillery. Oh, well, that's pleasing. Yeah, because there's not too much you can do with artillery, really. And I feel like we've exhausted all the options. We've got mortar shots, we've got the mangonel from the base game, we've got the trebuchet, obviously we've got the ballista. The one other thing that we can do, which has proven to actually not be very good in practice, is that you can give the ballista multiple shots. So instead of firing 1, it will fire 4, for example. But it's ridiculously inaccurate. And so whilst it looks really cool, it doesn't make it more powerful. And if anything, it makes it worse. So it's something you've got to take with a grain of salt. But that's about the only other siege option we've got. I can't see anyone to fire throw my hobbity stones at. Let's bring them around the back. We've got a lot of units fighting in melee, but a lot of units that shouldn't be fighting in melee are fighting in melee right now. Edmund Smiths asked, when will I stream again? Well, I don't know when I'll stream again, but as an absolute bare minimum, it will only ever be at weekends. I can tell you that much for true. If streaming has proven to be this wildly popular as it has, I am not against the idea of streaming once every couple of weeks, if it does indeed enhance the experience of watching these campaigns play out. Ah, bugger, we've got someone running away. Sugar plum fairies. I really don't want to lose. We've won all the other battles. We do have reinforcements coming and we've got so much money, but it would be helpful if we won this. Are there any changes coming to the Goblins of Moria to make them more unique and less standard? Michael Parabek. Yes, Moria are one of the ones that are going to be completely overhauled, and we're going to bring the Balrog into their gameplay. They're going to get some new units as well, at the expense and replacement of older units, but they're going to get some more unique units, so that their army's not just one big grey goblin blob. They're going to do some things related to fire, hopefully, so there should be some colourful units. It depends how well it displays in game. Are we adding a Balrog as a faction leader? So no, the Balrog won't be a faction leader, but he will come as a general in later versions of DaC. We are just going to say balls to it. Let's add the Balrog. Can you get that unit to stop running away? No, you can't. They're going. Why did it feel like live streaming today specifically? I felt like live streaming today specifically because I didn't really want to record Warhammer, and I wanted to do something different. And I had pretty much the whole day free, so I thought, sod it, let's do a live stream, and then we can worry about Warhammer tomorrow. So it was very sort of spontaneous. I only really thought about it on Friday or Thursday, and then I've brought it forward. Can you make it possible that if another good faction gets Hobbiton, they can also train Hobbits? We could make the Hobbits universal, but I think they'd lose something if every faction could train them. At the moment, the Northern Dunedain can, Bree can. Oh, bugger, Alaric's just died. Yeah, this is going to turn now. This is going to turn now. Did we kill their general at least? No, I don't think we did. Oh, but we do have units back. Oh, no, I hadn't moved the Hobbits. Hobbits, you're so fundamental to our victory, and I've forgotten about you. Bugger it. You guys over there, come and help with those. Wow, Ara has a face cam. Decent looking bloke. Well, thank you, Jack Yarnell. I'm sure you're a decent looking bloke yourself. And thank you for calling me Ara. I do like it when people use my official title. I'm sure I've explained this before, but Arakir just means High Lord. Garladurthan is my name. My actual name is Edward, and Garladurthan is a translation of the meaning of the word Edward. Arakir, however, is just means High Lord. So thank you for giving me the full reverence that I deserve. I'm grateful. Will the Balrog ever be as large as it would be in the movies? No, it's never going to be as large as it was in the films. This is an old engine. We're already stretching it to the seams to get certain things to even work. So the Balrog will always just be a bit larger of a troll. Get my general out of there. My general already died, I'm afraid. Art Kvark Tart. Is that your real name, or is that just a made-up name? Oh, hello. We've got some routing going on. Right, get yourselves up there and get involved. Oh, if you can shoot, please do. Please do. Please do. Hobbits, you're coming too. You're coming too. We might be able to just clinch this from the jaws of defeat. Could Barrowdowns get Smeals because of Buckland is part of the region? No, they won't do that. That's a very minor request. Just something like that. Just change yourself. But no, we wouldn't do that. Could I break down Edward as Garladurthan Squirrel Monkey? Yes, I can. According to any search that you do online, Edward is an Anglo-Saxon name, and it means either wealthy guardian or guardian of wealth. It's something along those names. Ward comes from ward, essentially ward and ward, obviously the same root, which is like guardian, ward, a warder, a ward of a thing, guards a thing. And E-A-D is where the first part of Edward comes from, which means either wealth or it's something to do with wealth or fortune or something along those lines. And Garladurthan follows that same pattern. So Galu is the Sindarian word for luck or fortune or wealth, and Dirithon just means guardian. It's gone through Lenition, so you can't just take Dirithon and think, right, that word means guardian, because it doesn't. It comes from the Sindarian word Tirith, which means guard, which we know from Minas Tirith. And it's then lenited in the fusal with the word Galu, so it becomes Dirith instead of Tirith through mutation, which is a way that Sindarian works. And then the on at the end implies the guardian rather than guard. So rather than fortune guard, it's fortune guardian. But in essence, that is where the name comes from. Right, we've got quite a few units still alive. I don't think the day is lost just yet if we can get this blob of archers in the middle to die. And we've still got our hobbits going strong. Anyone who is not involved, charge at these people, please. Why is Buckland part of the Downs region anyway? Because it looks nicer on the map. Is about it, and we've never gotten around to changing it. Thank you for making us language nerds happy. You're more than welcome. Henry says, good morning, weebs. And again, sorry, Henry, but I do not know what weeb means, so that one's gone over my head. I'm such a nerd, Gallo. Well, yes, I like Lord of the Rings. That much shouldn't be unknown to you if you've watched along now. I hide it remarkably well in real life, I think. Although, having said that, when people join our firm at work, I am often introduced as Ed really likes Lord of the Rings. And I always think there's more to my character than just Lord of the Rings. That shouldn't be how people introduce me to stuff. But that apparently is the caricature of which I am part at work. I'm the Lord of the Rings guy, which is a bit of a shame. Will the Goblins of Moria be a solid infantry at its peak faction, but the real powerhouse is with its engines of war and upgraded trolls? They will be a faction whose powerhouse will be the late game units that are going to come as part of the Balrog script, and they will be Balrog themed or Balrog inspired. The units that would fight alongside a Balrog that are going to be totally made up, I'm afraid. There's not much planned with the trolls, though. I don't think there's much that we can actually do with trolls to really jazz them up, so they won't really be a major troll-based faction. So if that's what you were hoping for, I apologise, that won't be the case. What do I really like besides Lord of the Rings? I like football, support Watford Football Club. We're currently in the Championship, not looking like we're going to get into the Premiership this year because our management is just absolutely dire. So I quite like that. I'm quite fond of gardening. I go running. Jess and I both go running. I quite like running, but that's not really a personality trait. It's just exercise. Obviously, I like video games. I like reading. It's another thing that I do quite a lot. Texts beside Lord of the Rings are welcome. So that's something that I like. Other than that, though, I don't really have another major hobby. I'm hoping to get into playing the piano. Jessica bought me a keyboard for Christmas to get some basic practice in. So I'm looking forward to doing some more with that. Although I haven't used it since I opened it on Christmas Day, so I need to do more than that, really. You recommend all the books from David Day about Lord of the Rings universe. I have every single book about David Day about the Lord of the Rings universe. And I've yet to read any of them, if I'm honest. I've read parts of some. When I've researched various things, I like to take from different aspects. One of the best books I've got, I can show you actually, it's just on the shelf here, is by Robert Foster. And if I can get it out, which I definitely can, here it is. Robert Foster's Complete Guide to Middle-earth. This is an absolutely smashing book, and one of the few that I go to when I want to read about anything, because it has literally everything imaginable, and quite nicely, it's illustrated by Ted Naismith. And so there's Gwahir, for example. So if you're looking for a book to gift someone who likes Lord of the Rings, or you're looking for a sort of dictionary of Lord of the Rings, is how I like to think of it, then that is an absolutely smashing one to get. I'm not sponsored by that book or the people that make it, but I just really like it. But I'm sure other books are available. Right, can we shut down these archers? Because this battle is taking forever. But that's alright. It's a fitting little end, isn't it? Right, so you've only got a few questions left before I'm going to hightail it off and have some lunch and indeed, actually, go for a run, as I just spoke about. Yes! Alaric claimed the day despite losing his life. And our top kills go to Woodman Hunters, 316. Massive difference. And the nearest one is a full 100 less than that, or just shy of. And again, Woodman Hunters, but 316 alone. That was a really, really, really well fought battle by our army, and it's a damn shame that we've lost. People keep spelling Callie like that with a K. I can see why you'd spell Callie with a K, but her name is Anne-Calime, the Númenórean queen, first of. And so Callie is spelt like California, not like K-A. How long do we run? At the moment, I only run for about 30 to 35 minutes. I've got real problems with my knees from my days playing football, and it gives me great pains to run longer than that. And to be honest, it gives me pains to run for 30 minutes. I need to find a different thing to do. But 30 minutes is about as far as we go for at the moment. If the Silmarillion were to be a film trilogy, what would each part be mainly about? You just couldn't make the Silmarillion a trilogy. Not in a million years. It just wouldn't work. It just covers way too much time. That's like, could you make the Bible into a trilogy? You just can't do it. It's just got too much in it. We will take another couple of generals, actually, because we've just lost 2, didn't we? Dol Guldur diminished, but they're not dead. And they're moving for Dol Guldur, and we're not going to get troops back to it in time. Oh, bugger, they're going to get it back, aren't they? But we took Dor Norhak, at least. And there's no general there now, so you guys are just going to have to camp it out and hope no one comes and kills you. We're the largest faction. Oh, that's nice. Alaric died. We got a new faction heir, Bralarn. What a name. Blimey. Bralarn. Where are you, Bralarn? I'm just going to call you Bral. So Bral's on air, that's nice to know. Yulstone got its mountain outposts. Our monies will now just be... We're going to skyrocket now. Once you start making money, you really, really start making money. And there's just no going back. So everything is going to just overflow. The adoption is not completed because you moved into the town, as people have recently pointed out to me. Alright, that's pretty much going to be the end of the episode. So I'll just have a quick look. Anyone particular questions? 24k, when did this happen? Yeah, the money came out of nowhere, didn't it? It just absolutely exploded. It does mean I've lost the One Ring. Yes, I don't know what happens now. I assume the ring script just goes back to where it was. I can't actually remember. But anyway, I am going to end it there. So thank you very much for coming along and watching today. There's 436 people as I mentioned this. It's been more fun than I had expected, and actually I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's nice to talk with you all live and to answer questions that you have about DaC and about the game. And were it to be more of a thing, of course, I'm sure you could all help me with my skills in battle, which is merited and required because I die so much. We lose so many more troops than we need to. But then with practice, I'd get better at reading that. When is version 5 available? Funny. Everyone tell Mark Huber when version 5 is available. I'm sure you all know what the answer to that question is. But for now, that is going to be all. So thank you very much for watching. This will be saved live onto YouTube if you want to watch it back as a video. But until we speak again, dear friends, Navar Naden Peremad Melonin, and farewell.